Hey everybody, Dan Schinder here on Drum Talk TV with Brian Rothschild, the Executive Director of the John Lennon Educational Bus. How are you?
I'm very good. It's great to be here today.
It's great for us to be here. I've known about the bus for years, and to actually be in it and talking to you is very exciting for me. The whole Imagine theme is very special, of course. That iconic song that John did so many years ago. Alan White, the drummer for Yes, who played on that song, is a friend of mine and a friend of the show. So this is really special. Tell everybody all about the bus, what it does.
Well, this is a project that's now in its 17th year, which is hard to believe, and I'm going to start lying about its age, I think, soon. But we've really always had the same mission. The technology has evolved, but the mission is really providing young people with free, hands-on opportunities to be creative. Originally with songs and audio, which is still a very, very important part of the program, but it's evolved to include filmmaking, video making, documentaries, and even game apps. A couple of years ago, we started a program of live streaming and engaging students in producing original shows. Ours is called At Lennon Bus, so it's live music and talk and tape pieces that the students will put together. So it travels all over the United States. This one that we're on now here at the NAMM show. It has a crew of 3 core engineers who live on board this bus. You'll see the bunks in a little bit. And they're highly trained as songwriters and audio engineers and video makers, and most importantly, really patient educators. And they work with the students, and the students range from middle school, high school, college age, and regardless of their level of ability or experience, they will learn about music production and digital media creation, whether they're experienced musicians and they've had that in schools, or sadly, as we all know, there's a real lack of music and arts education in many, many schools. So for a lot of students, the Lennon Bus is it.
So if this sounds so exciting, and if you don't hear from me for a long time or see any new episodes for a long time, just think stowaway. Because this is cool. How long have you been with the organization?
Well, this is an idea that I had actually in 1996, and shared it with Yoko, and she really liked it right out of the gate. And
Wow.
and we began to talk about the power of what the bus could be, and it's been a really, really exciting partnership to have. I'm really, really blessed to have her support and really the love that she's shown for it.
How exciting has it been, and how much work has been involved during those 17 years, Brian, to incorporate all the new innovations and all the new technologies? When you think about all that list of things of what happens on the bus now compared to what was going on the bus 17 years ago, talk a little bit about that arc.
Yeah, well, for a super techie inside view, you should talk to our chief engineer, Jeff Sobel. But as a practical matter, I mean, the original Lennon Bus was loaded with so much equipment, and at the time that was exciting. We wanted every square inch of it, filled up with blinking lights and, activity going on. And of course, when you look around the Lennon Bus today, we've tried to create it so that it's really adaptable and there's as much clean and open space as possible. So, I guess one of the most notable things is just the size of the equipment, the displays. The computers we had on in 1998, were 3 feet deep.
It had levers and big knobs. Oh, yeah. Someone had to pump the thing.
Exactly. So today, it's really about the economy of space and function, and of course,
and the feel, the vibe of it. It's like any other recording studio.
Oh yeah. I mean, we always tried to strive for having that, because for a lot of kids, of course, it's their first time in a studio, and we want that to be cool and inspirational for them, whether they're experienced or whether they've never strummed a guitar, heard themselves on a mic, played drums before. For a lot of our visitors, we are their first experience of doing that.
How is the connectivity made between the bus and the communities that it visits, and how do kids get involved and be able to experience the experience?
Yeah, sure. Well, of course, there's only one bus in the United States right now, so we get many, many, many more requests than we could possibly answer. But we have been, working to try to bring the Lennon Bus experience, to the internet, so that students and teachers all over the world can interact with us. And we're looking at some new ways of doing that right now. But as a practical matter, the bus and the stops that we're making are really done in concert with partners, anywhere from the U.S. Department of Education and working together with Secretary Arnie Duncan's office, as well as local boys and girls clubs, cities, municipalities, townships, retail music stores. Really looking for kind of anchor partners in those communities that know those communities. And working with the NAMP Foundation, we are also using the bus to try to be like a lightning rod for the importance of music education. And this past year we did 6 Support Music Coalition forums with the NAMP Foundation, which we brought decision makers, stakeholders, government officials, the mayors of the cities together to talk about the importance of music education, to talk about solutions, not just the fact that, oh, we're sad it's not here and there's no funding, but what are we going to do and why are we going to do it? And the reason we're going to do it is not just because music is fun, which it is, not just because kids are interested in music, which they are, but because it's really been proven that engaging with music education increases test scores, reduces recidivism. Kids are actually go to school if they're going to do something that they want to do.
It gives them something else to do rather than being in trouble. Just the discipline, and from my own experience, the discipline of taking music lessons, being involved in a music class, being involved in any sort of musical community, be it production or playing in band or just taking guitar or drum lessons one-on-one with an instructor, it develops discipline and study habits, and that's what's needed for mainstream education as well. And I think those two elements are a big part of where those other results come from.
Exactly.
If you can't mention this part that I'm going to mention, I'll cut it out. But yesterday when we met, we were standing outside the bus, and I said, man, I could see a whole fleet of these things. Yeah. And you said...
What did I say?
You talked about the bus in Europe.
Oh, well, of course we can talk about it.
I didn't know.
Oh, of course. Well, for the longest time, Yoko and I have been talking about wanting to create more buses. She believes that one of the best ways to combat violence and negative, behaviors is by making music and by introducing music to young people and covering the earth in music, as she would say. So, after a lot of effort and work, we launched Lennon Bus Europe in Liverpool this past May with Yoko, and it was an incredibly emotional experience for me to be there in John's hometown, to have the chance to actually go through his childhood home, which is known as Mendips, and to get permission to shoot some video inside of his home, which was very, very unusual. And we built our first project with students from Liverpool, and those were our first students in Lennon Bus Europe. It's an incredible facility. It's built around a Mercedes Actros chassis. It's really a truck, and it has a custom trailer that slides out on both sides. So as big as this bus is here in the U.S., the one that we have in Europe is actually wider because of the slides, and it has an upper deck that we call the peace deck. So when you get to the back, you can climb up on top, and we've been doing DJ sessions and shooting bands up there, and really using it for creation. Kids go up there and are able to create all kinds of work. The Peace Deck is one of my favorite things because the response that we get to a mobile facility that actually dares to say the word peace. Right. It's kind of shocking.
It's adventurous.
Yeah,
it's working, isn't it?
It is working because I think kids need it, and they respond to it, and they're super excited and positive about coming on board and creating, and that's the purpose of the bus.
That's cool. My last question is, when you're in a community and the kids get to experience and get to create, what happens with the material that is created?
Yeah, well, all of our videos go up on our YouTube channel, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them right now. And then they'll be fed out by our partners on their various websites. So we've been working with UNESCO or the Department of Education, our friends at Apple or at Gibson.
Great.
You know, I should also mention, of course, that this whole thing is incredibly expensive to keep alive. And the Lennon Bus is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 here in the United States. And it's made possible by our corporate partners, Mont Blanc and True Religion brand jeans, and then all the audio and music partners that are here at NAMM. Every piece of equipment that you'll see here is contributed by those partners.
That's great. And the website is magically right here on the screen. Make sure you go to the site, check out what they're doing. Most importantly, look at the content and look at the results by the wonderful kids who have been able to participate in this great experience put on by Brian and his team. And I'm sure there's all sorts of information on how people can get involved in supporting the foundation.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Absolutely. You can, well, number one, if you want to visit by the bus to your community, go to the website, go to lennonbus.org and click on the request button and tell us about your school, your community, and why you'd like to have the bus, and we'll try to work it into the schedule.
Great. And when you come to Las Vegas, where we're based, you let me know, and we'd love to shoot another episode where we see the kids in action actually creating. That would be wonderful.
We can do that. We'll be there in April for the NAB show.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
April what? Do you know?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
My birthday's in April. Looks like I'm getting a cool present. Thanks so much for joining Brian Rothschild and myself here in the John Lennon Bus, educational bus, here at NAMM 2014 on Drum Talk TV. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you. Imagine peace.
Peace.
Peace.